AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun. You don't really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your...
Since AOC was announced as the Democrats' big hope for 2028, Bill Maher has been louder than ever. He says this reminds him of 2024, when the party put everything behind Kamala Harris, ignored every warning sign, and ended up paying the price. Now, Maher is back on the attack, pointing out the weak spots in their new pick and telling Democrats not to make the same mistake twice. If you enjoy raw, unfiltered political debate, this is one you'll want to hear.
What do you think of the fact that the people who are getting the big crowds right now are AOC and Bernie Sanders? They're going around the country. Thank you, there's that same guy. I call him the always wrong guy. Okay, but I feel like, big crowds, again, the shiny object that the Democrats chase. It's not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. I think it's because I think Bernie showed up at Coachella. That must have been fun for the fans. It's who shows up on Election Day. And I just don't see that's the ticket. I mean, Cory Booker, I know you've worked with him. I like Cory a lot from my home state of New Jersey. Made a speech for 25 hours. Again, just whacking each other off. This is just not what's going to get the job.
Just days after AOC's name started circulating as a possible replacement for Kamala Harris, things quickly began to unravel. Instead of gaining ground, she's been undermining her own credibility with awkward media moments one after another. From shaky economic arguments to confusing policy rants, she's raising more doubts than confidence. If this is the candidate Democrats plan to push for 2028, they may need to rethink fast, because the more she talks, the more voters are left asking, is this really the best they've got?
It's low because everyone has two jobs. Unemployment is low because people are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week and can barely feed their kids.
Everybody's an idiot except for me.
Capitalism has not always existed in the world, and it will not always exist in the world. When this country
It is the system that, unlike all the others, has lifted more people out of poverty over the course of human history than any other system.
Well, so I think that those things that you talk about, that you discuss, are part of the course of human evolution.
And this is exactly why Bill Maher keeps hammering away at AOC. Beyond the fiery speeches, the constant outrage, and the endless social media buzz, there isn't much left to grab onto. She mistakes attention for influence and treats aggression like it's the same thing as leadership. What's missing is depth, long-term vision, and a serious plan. What we're seeing instead looks more like a show built for clicks than a roadmap for real change. Maher isn't just speculating, he's calling it as he sees it. If Democrats gamble their 2028 hopes on AOC, it won't just be a risk, it could turn into a full-blown political disaster.
It's a serious problem for Democrats. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual. Because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is.
Democrats are losing ground fast as more voters get tired of the party's obsession with woke politics. Biden left office with confusion and broken promises, while Kamala Harris only made things worse with her unclear, rambling style. Now AOC is walking down the same road, stuck inside an ideological bubble that's pushing middle America away. Newsom and Walz don't look much better, both weighed down by scandals and policies that feel out of touch. Even longtime Democrats are drifting towards centrists, independents, or giving up altogether. The problem isn't just bad leadership. It's an agenda that ignores economic reality, public safety, and basic common sense.
don't really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your opponent.
We'll get to Maher's main argument in a moment, but first, let's break down what he's calling out. AOC and the progressive wing of the Democratic Party show open disdain for America's core values. Maher doesn't sugarcoat it. He slams their over-the-top outrage, obsession with identity politics, and their habit of treating patriotism like something shameful. To them, anything connected to Trump is automatically evil. Tax relief for working families? Must be racist. Securing the border? Clearly xenophobic. Energy independence? Just climate denial. It doesn't matter if the idea is practical or helps the country. If Trump touched it, they treat it like poison. Maher calls this what it really is, self-sabotage. Democrats aren't just opposing Trump, they're rejecting reality. And by doing so, they're driving away everyday Americans who still believe in their country.
For all the talk about fighting for the soul of America, nobody seems to like it very much. Too many liberals give the impression that to them, America's just a big, ugh. The red, white, and ew. A country that started out bad and will always be bad, founded on an unrelenting history of sucking and unable to change. But we have changed a lot. Democrat Cori Bush tweeted, "This land is stolen land and black people still aren't free." And this was on the 4th of July. Really? Not that I give a shit about the 4th of July. I've never been a rah-rah guy. But I am a perspective guy. And that's what too much of the left has lost, perspective.
Sometimes I open Twitter, scroll for a second, and close it right back down. The level of anti-American anger is unbelievable. It feels like an endless wave of young liberals trashing the very country that gives them the freedom to complain in the first place. Stick around long enough and you'll see the same thing. Attacks on America's history, its values, even its flag. The nation is painted as nothing but a villain, instead of being recognized for the opportunities, free speech, and quality of life that most of the world can only dream about. I've traveled. I've seen how other countries live. And believe me, very few come close to what the US offers. That's why it's so frustrating to watch online activists act like it's heroic to slam their own country. It isn't bold. It isn't noble. It's entitled, misguided, and frankly, embarrassing.
72% of black people under 30 are optimistic about their future in America. Way more than white people the same age. And as far as the land goes, yes, I guess we could change the name of Captain America to Captain Stolen Land. But honestly, to all the people who start every public event now with one of those land acknowledgments where they say, "I'm standing on land that was stolen from the proud indigenous people of the Chumash tribe," I say either give it back or shut up.
AOC's activism feels more like stagecraft than real leadership. She's built an image as a gritty, working-class fighter, but the facts tell a different story. She grew up in a comfortable suburb, not the Bronx background she likes to push on the campaign trail. Even the bartending story isn't special. Millions of students work service jobs to get by. But she frames it as if it were some climb out of poverty, when in reality, it's just part of the normal grind. What she's selling isn't authenticity, it's public relations. And more people are starting to notice.
AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun.
Compare the freedoms women enjoy in America with much of the world, and the difference is massive. Here, women can vote, own property, build any career, dress as they want, drive wherever they please, and live as equals. They can run companies, win elections, speak their minds, and build independent lives without asking anyone's permission. In many other countries, those freedoms are still a distant dream. Women there are silenced, restricted, or outright oppressed by law and culture. Yet AOC and her allies try to paint America as hostile to women simply because it doesn't give in to every demand of radical gender politics. Disagreeing with extreme ideology isn't hatred. Pushing back against overreach isn't oppression. The irony is hard to miss. They denounce systemic misogyny in the very nation that gives women more rights, safety, and opportunities than almost anywhere else on earth.
Congressman Jamal Bowman says capitalism is slavery by another name. No, it's not. It's the thing that has given more people more prosperity and hope than any other system, flawed though it surely is.
The constant attacks on capitalism just don't hold up. Critics love to bash the system that built the most prosperous and innovative country on the planet. Socialism and communism might sound noble on paper. Equality, shared wealth, no poverty, but in reality, they've been disasters. History makes the case clearly. Venezuela, Cuba, the Soviet Union, nations full of resources and potential, now reduced to cautionary tales. People risk their lives to escape those systems, heading instead toward the American dream. That fact alone should tell us something. Capitalism isn't flawless, but it rewards effort, sparks creativity, and drives progress. America doesn't need socialist experiments. It needs systems that actually work.